Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with another video just to go through some more blending modes with you so that you can really see the kind of backgrounds that you create. Remember I said that I was kind of a bit like I'm not quite sure myself. Well, I've had a good play, have had a play around, and I think I've got the hang of it. And I found another little new tip as well that you can do to make this blending modes easier. In my previous video I was kind of putting a blending mode on, then clicking on. You don't need to do that, okay? As I said to you, this is a free course, and the reason it's a free course is because I am learning and then passing my knowledge on to you. So there are going to be times when I make slight boo-boos and I need to come on and just clarify. So I was kind of changing the blending mode up here, and then I would go up and say undo. You don't need to do that, okay? And it's a really easy way to change all the blending modes and take a look at what they could do. So let's start. I've actually pulled up some images and I've placed them into a document. I've got a dark burgundy one here, a sea green color, which is this one, and then I've added a kind of neutral background, kind of a texture. The next one I've added is this pretty watercolor effect, and I think that's it. Yes, I have 4 layers. Now what I've done just to start with is I've added 1 dark layer and 3 fairly pale colors, and I'm going to show you what happens when you don't have a darker color. You're going to get a much more subtle effect, but for now I've got 1 dark and 3 light. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn all of these back to normal because I've been playing around with them. There we go. And so all of my, there's no blending effect or anything on them at the moment. And I'll remind you again that you can, when you actually add a blending mode to a layer, you're actually adding that blending mode to that layer and every layer below. Remember in my previous video I said oops, I'd actually made a boo-boo and I thought it was just 1 layer. I was completely incorrect. It's all of the layers. So we're going to come up to normal, and I'm on my first layer, and I'm going to click dissolve, and then at this point I'm going to switch to my keyboard and use my arrow keys, okay? And I'm going to keep going down with my arrow key. As I do, it's going to change the blending mode, which is such an easy way to go through and see which ones you would like. I mean, that one would be fantastic for, say, a Halloween kit or something like that. It looks quite, you know, dark and fiery. So I'm just going to keep going down. That's quite a nice mixture. Nothing much happening there. We've got a little tiny bit of texture coming through from that first burgundy marbling effect. So not much happening. Oh, now that one's beautiful. Now I love that. So that one is an overlay, and that's created this beautiful kind of wood washed pattern. So I'm going to save that, and at the moment I'm just going to save it as a SD file. I kept saying PSE because I was thinking Photoshop Elements. It's not, it's Photoshop Design. And I'm just going to save this as, let's call it weatherboarded blue textured paper, and I'm just going to save that as a PSD file. So click save, there we go. And then I'm coming up, I'll do that because it's taking a second. As all things do. Hope you're having a good day, guys. It's dreary here in the UK. I don't know if that's because we're still in lockdown and suffering huge numbers of COVID deaths and cases, but it's not the greatest of days. It's very grey, very miserable looking. So I'm up in my craft room cheering myself up. Oh dear. You have to, don't you? You have to do all those self-care things when you're in lockdown. It's really important to look after yourself mentally, physically, as much as you can. With me, that's a difficult task with all my health issues. Oh dear. So I love this one. This one kind of looks like weatherboarded wood with this kind of crackle effect. So I'm going to come up to the next one. So the next one's soft light, and then I'm just going to come up. Oh, I like that one too. And I'm just going to come down hard light, and just again using my arrow keys. Once I've clicked on one of the blending modes, I can just use my arrow keys. Oh, that's pretty, to come all the way down. That's also lovely. I love that one. Oh, and isn't that pretty? So yeah, oh my goodness, I'm going to save that one. So again, you just click save as, and I'm going to call this weatherboarded lilac, and make sure that that has the Photoshop PSD there saved. Save as type, we go. I'm going to go up to hue again as soon as that's finished its thing. It's savey bit. I'm very technical, did you hear that? Savey bit. I think it's really important actually that if you don't remember the names of things, you make up your own. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do my blendy thing now, that's fine. When I taught, I used to say to my children, anything you need to remember, you know, a topic or something in maths, just, you know, use your own thing. So as you can see, you can just go up and down with these arrow keys, finding the one you want. And don't forget that if you find an image, let's go up to this dark one, and it's just a bit too dark, you can always change the opacity. Okay, remember this opacity button is going to change your image again. That's what it's there for. It's another tool that you can use. So don't just rely on the blending modes. You know, so we go to, let's do soft light, and we want to just make this opacity, there we go, you can see a little bit less of that blend coming through. So we don't want the texture as dark as that. There we go, we've got it at 89%, and that's just changed it slightly. So there's so many things that you can do. So my next idea is I'm going to go onto this layer again. I'm going to come down to normal, and this time I'm going to pop this burgundy on a different layer. Okay, and I think I might put this texture at the top. So now again, we're just going to go up to normal. So we've got that texture at the top, and I'm just going to come down again with my arrow keys, and I'm just going to wait and see what happens as I go down each of the different blend. Oh, that's lovely. Different blending modes. You can see again, I've got so many different papers. If this is such an easy way to add to your kits, provide your customers with 5 or 6 different papers. It literally takes you seconds to save each one of these. You know, for instance, let's just go up to the top again. So if I was doing kind of let's see, like a sea kit or something that was summery, and I wanted to add kind of beach theme papers, I could just simply add this one and that one and that one and that one and that one and this one and this one and this one and this one. Keep going, this one, maybe that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Now imagine getting a kit where the maker has kindly put in 12 pieces of paper. It would take you literally 5 minutes just to save all of those files and include in a kit. And I'm thinking of you especially, Terry. Her kits are beautiful, and I'm actually going to show them in a subsequent video in a second. In fact, I might show it at the end of this video, because her kits are beautiful. She's just started making them. She's using my course to make them, and I'm so proud of her. I'm really touched, and I'm so proud of what she's doing. She is one of my subscribers, but I now consider her a friend. We have talked on Facebook, we have talked via email. She's an amazing lady, and she puts up with all my ranting on Facebook, and I've said to her, that's not me, that's me just being grumpy, Luann, because I kind of put lots of political things on Facebook and lots of things I'm angry about in the UK. I use it to vent so that I can stay happy in myself. So I say to her, please ignore what I put on Facebook, because it literally is a load of old rubbish. But she's still my friend after reading half the rubbish that I put on there, so that's good. But yeah, she's used the skills from the course to create the most beautiful journal kits, and what I love about them is they are her style. There's no one else that's going to produce a kit like that. You'll all have the same skills, but you'll all produce different kits. And yeah, I'm thinking of you, Terry, when I think of this, is that you can expand your kits by just playing around with some of these textures. And I know that you're a member of Graphics Ferry, so there's plenty on there, but there's also quite a few that you can download for free. And let me know if any of you would like to know where to download these for free in the comments, and I will post a list for you. Okay, if there's enough people that want me to do it, then I will post a list. I need kind of at least sort of half a dozen people saying yes please, and then I can go through and take the time to get all of the freebies up, because it is quite an extensive list. So I need a few of you to say yes please, could you do it? So yeah, this is a great way of expanding your you know, your kits for people, or just to create beautiful papers for yourself in your craft room. If you've got a printer, myself, I have an Epsom ET2720. That is the ones with the eco tanks. So all I do is I buy the bottles of ink and I fill up my tank, and honestly I actually print most of my images on Vibrant, so it's a really good quality, and I just get thousands of prints out of my tanks, and each of my inks is £10 each, and I don't have to fill them all up at the same time because I use less black, I use a lot of cyan, I use a lot of yellow, but really actually I use a lot of magenta, really, because a lot of my colours are purples and pinks and all those pretty kind of girly colours that I love. So yeah, if you've got a printer that is you know, like mine, very economical, think of the money that you will save by creating your own papers. You'll never buy a paper pack again, because you can print on whatever thickness of card you want. You can do it on copy paper, and it, you know, the ideas are endless. So it's definitely worth learning how to do this. And as you can see from what I'm doing, it's literally just trial and error. It's playing around with the order of the layers, it's playing around with dark layers and light layers, and it's playing around with the blending modes and the opacity. So I'm just going to delete this one for you just now, and I'm just going to show you what it's like when you have just pale layers. So I'm just going to put that one up there. So if you have pale layers, you're going to get a pale image, you're going to get pale background papers. And the changes that you're going to see from the blending mode, as you see as I'm going down, are very subtle. They're not hugely different, but in some ways, again, if you've got a pastel kit, including all these different papers is going to really make you stand out on Etsy. The most that you get on Etsy is, say, like 4 background papers, and there's really no reason why you can't offer your customers even more. Let's just move that one up and just see if this makes any difference. So you can see there's a subtle difference, but there's nothing major by changing the layer order on this one, simply because you've got 3 pastels. You've got a texture and 2 pastels, and you know, it's only going to change it slightly. You really need like an extra darker color to bring through you know, something different to this particular type of background paper. So I'm just going to add this grungy frame. Just going to show you that you can do it with frames and textures as well. So we'll just move that one all the way across. I don't mind making this one bigger and down. There we go. A little bit that way. Perfect. So I'm just going to include this one. And this one I'm going to pop at the bottom because I want this to show through all the other layers. So again, I'm coming up to dissolve. I'm going to come down. Can't see anything happening, so layer order may be not quite right. So let's hang on, let's make sure I've put it on the wrong layer. Look at that. Normal, come up to the top. That's better. Make sure you're on the right layer, guys. So I'm just coming down. There's not much happening really. I can't see much going through there. Hang on, that's because of me. I'm not actually clicking. Hold on. There we go. That's better. I wonder why nothing was happening. That's better. So again, just clicking through it. Wow, look at that one. So just clicking through again the blending modes. That's lovely. And again, I could change the opacity on this one to make it a bit darker. I mean, that's fantastic. Love that one. Coming down again. I mean, it isn't that beautiful. Look at the colours there. And again, I could raise the opacity on that one or lower it. Not quite that much. There we go. So there's just endless possibilities to what you can do. and advertising 12 free papers, matching papers, or 6 matching background papers. But really, you could, the things you can offer your clients is endless, your customers is endless, and it doesn't take you that long. Anyway, I hope that's been helpful. You take care of yourselves, have fun with that particular lesson, and like I say, please share with me what you're doing on Instagram if you're on there. If you haven't got an account, it's so simple to set one up. Please don't be afraid of it. It's really easy to do. If you've never done Instagram before, it's a great place to advertise. The same as Pinterest is a really good place. If you would like me to do a course on Instagram or Pinterest, just let me know and I will make sure I put a free course on my channel. It's entirely up to you what you would like. So give me a shout again in the comments, and don't forget, if you have got Instagram, post your results there. I'd love to see them. Until next time, guys, craft yourself happy.